So now let's see what we use the infinitive for. And to do that, we need to understand that we're going to speak about verb patterns. What is verb patterns? Basically is when you have more than just one verb in a phrase. So for example, if you say I like to paint, you have two verbs there. You have like, which is the main verb, and then a second verb, which is paint. So in English, between those two, there's some things that you need to do. So for example, I said I like to paint. That's one of the options. Another option you have for verb patterns in English is saying the gerund. I like painting. So how do you do those changes in Spanish? Well, first we need to speak about gustos. This is what you like or dislike to do. So for example, you would say me gusta and then a verb in infinitive. So I would say me gusta cantar. Me gusta cantar. As you see here, the verb is in infinitive. Me gusta cantar. So I can also add the word mucho. Me gusta mucho. How would you say I like to sleep a lot? Me gusta mucho dormir. Me gusta mucho dormir. You can also say un montón for a lot. So how would you say I really like to run? How would you say that? I really like to run. Me gusta un montón correr. Me gusta un montón correr. If you want to say that you love doing something, you can say me encanta. So how would you say I love to dance? Me encanta bailar. So when we speak about likes, we also have to speak about dislikes, how to use the infinitive for that. So it's very easy. With all of these patterns, you will add a no in front of the verb. So you would say no me gusta. So for example, how would you tell me that you don't like to sing? That would be no me gusta cantar. You can also say no me gusta mucho. I don't like it very much. I don't like to sleep very much. I don't really like to sleep. So that would be no me gusta mucho dormir. No me gusta mucho dormir. ¿Te gusta dormir? No, no me gusta mucho dormir. I don't really like to sleep. However, we cannot say no me gusta un montón. I don't really like to sleep a lot. We cannot say that in Spanish because when we say un montón, that is for positive phrases. So you wouldn't hear no me gusta un montón. You would hear no me gusta mucho. Also, the word encanta is for I really like or I love. So you wouldn't hear no me encanta bailar. That sounds very weird. We can also use verb patterns with the infinitive to speak about preference. I prefer this or I prefer that. So that would be prefiero. Prefiero. So, for example, say you're talking to your boss and you have to say, I prefer to go in person. How would you say, I prefer to go? That would be prefiero ir. Prefiero ir. En persona, in person. Prefiero ir en persona. You can also say it is better, or we better do something, or it's better to do this or to do that. So, how would you say that? For example, how would you say it's better to work at the office? It's better to work at the office. At the office is en la oficina. So, how would you say it's better to work at the office? Es mejor trabajar en la oficina. Es mejor trabajar en la oficina. We can also use these patterns to speak about our opinions, what we think about something, how we feel about something. So, how do we do that? So, we can say it is good. It is good to, for example, exercise. How would you say it is good to exercise? Es bueno entrenar. Es bueno entrenar. Entrenar es bueno. You can say both. I can change the order. I can say es bueno entrenar, or I can say entrenar es bueno. Like exercising is good. Also, I can state my opinion, which I think, for example, say that I think it's not good to smoke for your health. So I would say no es bueno. So how would you say it's not good to smoke? To smoke is fumar. So that would be no es bueno fumar. We can also speak about needs and wants using these verb patterns using the infinitive. So how do we do that? So for example, we're going to use a lot the verb quiero. Quiero means I want or I need. Be careful with, because in English you wouldn't use this verb. You would say I would like, but in Spanish there's nothing wrong with saying I want. It has the same meaning. So for example, in the beginning maybe you feel that it isn't that polite to say I want because it would be like demanding, but it doesn't work that way in Spanish. So if you say quiero and then you add it at the end, por favor, please, then it's just fine. For example, we order food this way. We don't say I would like, we just say quiero, I want. Quiero una hamburguesa, por favor. Quiero una pizza, por favor. So don't be afraid to use this verb, okay? So for example, if you want to sleep, how would you say I want to sleep? Quiero dormir. If you don't want to eat, how would you say that? No quiero comer. I don't want to eat. No quiero comer. Gracias. Thank you. No quiero comer. Gracias. If you wanted to say that you need to sleep, you would say necesito. So how would you say I need to sleep? Necesito dormir. I need to sleep now. Necesito dormir ahora, por favor. I need to sleep now, please. We can also use these verb patterns with the infinitive to speak about wishes that we have. To speak about what we would like to happen, we can say me gustaría. I would like to. We do not use this for ordering at a restaurant generally, okay? But you can say, for example, I would like to learn Chinese. How would you say I would like to learn? Me gustaría aprender. Me gustaría aprender chino. I would like to learn Chinese. Me gustaría aprender español. If you want to say the opposite, you would say, no me gustaría. How would you say, I wouldn't like to travel at night? No me gustaría viajar de noche. No me gustaría viajar de noche. I wouldn't like to travel at night. Now let's speak about obligations. Things that you have to do, that you need to do, that you should do, or that you must do. So how do we do that pattern in Spanish? So we can say I have to, I need to. That should be tengo que. Tengo que. So for example, how would you say I have to work today? Tengo que trabajar hoy. Tengo que trabajar hoy. I need to work today. I have to work today. The opposite. I don't have to work today. How would that be? No tengo que trabajar hoy. No tengo que trabajar hoy. So we use this a lot, have to. That would be the equivalent in English to saying I need to do this, I need to do that. We're going to say I have to, okay? So that is the way that we do it. We can also use these patterns to give advice. So how would you do that? One word is saying deberías. Deberías means I should. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. So, for example, if I were to say, you should go to the doctor, how would you say that? Deberías ir al doctor. Deberías ir al doctor. You should see a doctor. You should go to the doctor. Deberías ir al doctor. We can also say you could. So, for example, how would you say, could you come here? Could you come here, please? ¿Podrías venir acá? ¿Podrías venir acá, por favor? So, the verb in infinitive, venir. ¿Podrías venir? Could you come? All right, I hope you enjoyed all of these patterns, and now it's time to practice in conversation.